Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of September. I hope you are well. I wasn't, but I am now, which is good. But I do still have a bit of a rattly cough, so I hope that that doesn't interfere too much with the course of proceedings. Now, if you haven't seen these videos before, I structure them slightly differently to the way that I do the main monthly readings, in so much as we are looking for the lesson. I believe that there is wisdom, or indeed a lesson, contained within every experience or interaction that we have. And sometimes we lose sight of that when we get bogged down with the minutiae of day-to-day stuff. So it's kind of an exercise in perspective. The idea is that we will look at the energy that you are in right now, and then we will look at why you are there in the first place, right? What is the broader lesson here? What is trying to be shown to you? So we'll pull 3 cards for your current energy, 3 cards for why you are there in the first place, and then 3 cards of advice, and see if we can't help you navigate this energy a little bit more easily, shall we say. Do I have anything else to tell you? The 6-month overviews that I did for each of the signs back in July, and run from July to December, we're now a third of the way through that, so I have reduced the price by a third accordingly, and I would really like for everybody to hear the messages that came through in there. Particularly for you, Sagittarius. You and Gemini had identical cards come out in November. Different decks, entirely different decks, and several readings done in between those, but the same message came out, and now it was quite intriguing. So anywho, let's get on with this. So can I have 3 cards for Sagittarius' current energy, please? Oh, we have the 8 of Swords and the Chariot come out together. Interesting. Rather polar opposites. Wow. The Knight of Pentacles flew out that way, and the 4 of Pentacles flew out this way. Intriguing. One more, please. I said one more, Howie. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Ace of Swords fell down here on the floor. I'm not going to take that. I'm going to stick it back in the deck. What an intriguing set of cards. I'm kind of thrown by the fact that this Emperor flew out as well, and I'm trying to decide whether to take it or not. Like, there's certainly some aspect of this is a relinquishing of control in a really healthy way, and I like that. But I'm not sure that he fits. Do you know what? We're going to stick him there, and we may refer back to him. I don't feel comfortable in just disregarding him altogether. We have the 3 of Pentacles, which is a card of cooperation and collaboration. We've got the 6 of Cups behind here. Sagittarius, are you building bridges with people, rebuilding bridges with people? Because we've got the Empress and the Ace of Cups here. Now, the Empress is the archetypal mother, but she is also abundance and fertility and all those kind of things, right? The things that we feel gratitude for. And it's followed by the Ace of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Fuck my life. And the 3 of Swords and the Justice card behind this. This is extraordinary. What seems to be going on here, certainly, is you repairing relationships. Now, what isn't necessarily the case is that you are going to find these people from the past and being all like, hey, you know, you owe me an apology, but I'm here, I will take it. Or I need to apologize to you for something, right? That isn't kind of the feeling that I'm getting here. It feels like there's something going on 2 levels, which is the partnerships that you have around you at the moment, whether they are romantic or otherwise, are a source of great strength for you, and there is a sense of building really rather well. You know, whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is you're trying to put in place at the moment, you seem to be in step with the people around you, and you're all kind of working towards the same thing. But this 6 of Cups here means that the repairing of the relationships that is going on is more about your recollection of what is going on, right? More of your understanding of how these situations came to be. And they may be people that you have not considered for a long time. Oh, we are in Mercury shadow now, in the shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. That isn't kicking in till, is it the 22nd of September? Something like that, 27th maybe. It's around then anyway, it's the end of September. And in those circumstances, you know, the retrograde energy often has us either, you know, bumping into people from the past or having them resurface in our mind in some way. And it's usually so we can close something out about that situation. That feels very strongly like what is going on here. But you've already been doing this work. This is the thing. I think that the retrograde, when it occurs, maybe when you see the point of that, but the connection between the past and the present is the way that you are choosing to do things differently in the present, informed by your deeper understanding of the past. And almost like the more that you're doing in the present, the more insight it's giving you into past situations, which is then feeding back to you. It sounds quite complicated, but you're very much in the business of building something new at the moment. We see this with the Three of Pentacles and the Four of Wands going on right here, right? But this Three of Swords in this deck is extraordinary. It's about learning lessons from the past, not taking the pain and the wounding that we would usually associate with the Three of Swords, more kind of looking back at these and going, where is the useful stuff from my past that can inform my present? And as you change the way that you do things in the present, so it's giving you more insight into the past. Does that make sense? Because this Justice card here, it's about balancing things up. Now, I spoke at length in the last set of videos that I did, and I don't know if it was for you particularly, but there was a good handful of signs for whom this notion of collapsing timelines was a thing. And there is an element of that here, but it's slightly different. You've got a slightly different take on it. It's almost like you're not collapsing so much as kind of inflating. You know, I've just got this, you know, it's a bike pump that I'm emulating there, right? Opening up the channels to the past, and I look at it and see what it is, and there's this feedback loop of gratitude and abundance that you are feeling in the here and now, understanding that it is fed from what was painful in the past, right, and what you've learned from how it was painful in the past. Extraordinary. Now, I don't usually pull clarifiers for the mid-month readings, but this Eight of Swords is quite intriguing to me. I feel in some ways like what it's referring to here is the ways in which you were in an Eight of Swords kind of mindset for a long time, which you are now exploding out of. If you remember, I said right at the beginning that they were rather polar energies there. You know, that is being very stuck and trapped and restricted, something that Sagittarius absolutely does not enjoy. But over the last year, have you not realized the ways in which you have kept yourself stuck and trapped and in a particular mindset? I think that you have. Well, the Chariot is kind of bursting out of it, this kind of victory and movement. Two things that suit a Sagittarian very, very well. But I just want to pull one more card for this Eight of Swords and check that that is right. Because we've got a bit of friction between both of these sets of cards here. Tell me where it is, please. Thank you. Yeah, we've got the Six of Wands there. Super. Thank you. And the Two of Wands. Yeah, like... it's an extraordinary feeling, what's going on here, you know. There's a great deal of self-exploration that's gone on recently. And I do feel like you're taking a lot of responsibility for the right things and choosing to do your work on them and paying much less attention now to the way that other people affect you, because ultimately you've come to the understanding that this is all about the way that you choose to react to things, right? This seems to have liberated the shit out of you now. But with the Six of Wands, having mastered or overcome this Eight of Swords energy that you were in before, it's kind of brought you to this Two of Wands, beg your pardon, which is crossroads energy. But I don't feel you're sitting at a crossroads exactly right now. I feel like you're kind of sitting in a, could be borderline described as a liminal space, where you are, like I said, using this information that's kind of going backwards and forwards between your past and your present, the things that you are doing now. Perhaps it's like a second time around of doing these things, but you're finding that you're doing everything very, very differently. Now, for most of the other signs, this is how they're collapsing the old timelines. But like I said, I don't get that sense of that for you, perhaps because Sagittarius has been so good at collapsing things as you've gone along. Anyway, you might fucking burn those bridges. Fuck you, not coming back, not doing any of these things. I get a sense of you trying to repair these, at least in here and in here, so that you can take the wisdom that you have accrued over the years and you can choose to do things differently in the here and now compared to how you might have done them before. This Two of Wands seems to be pointing you, right? It's kind of leading to a point somewhere here. And at that point, you will be able to completely release the past. You don't need to think about it anymore. But it doesn't feel like it's causing you any kind of issue at the moment. It's just like, that was how it was before. This is how it is now. I'm really happy that this is how it is now. This is great. This is wonderful. Best just check back in the past, make sure, no, this is all good. This is all good, It's almost like healing your relationship with your own history, Sagittarius. Like I said, it doesn't feel to me particularly like you need to be concerned about old people, popping back up again. Just the mere fact that you're thinking about them, it's in your energetic field, So we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles there. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is usually quite a good card, but it is a card of Virgo, and you, Sagittarius, had a bit of an issue as a collective with Virgos a little while back. Certainly at the beginning of last year, beginning of 2020, a lot of Sagittarians were having issues with a particular Virgo in their life. And much of the work that you have done in the last 18 months came from the ending of that particular interaction, right? Bringing it to a close in some sort of way. And so it could well be that this Knight of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles is an understanding that you are the one, not the one who is holding on to this situation anymore. Perhaps the Virgo is holding on to this situation. Like perhaps they just have not fucking progressed at all, since your separation. Whether this was a spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, a family member, friend, or whatever it is. Tell me about this Knight of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles. I don't know about that. I've got the Father of Cups in reverse, and we've got the Eight of Swords. Yeah, it does sort of imply a lack of movement, and it seems like in this 2-week period, what you are understanding is literally how far you have gone, right? You are just not the same person that you were 18 months ago. Not even a bit of it. And they're stuck. Now, let's pull one more card, because what I'm not sure about is whether this is a warning to you to just be aware that this person from the past, whoever it may be, certainly possibly Virgo overtones, or somebody who fits the profile of, a damaged Virgo, one of those who, I think we've all known them at some point, hypercritical of everybody else, super defensive of themselves, that kind of energy. Thank you. Yeah. It's sort of a warning, and it's sort of a validation of just how much you have changed if you needed it. And honestly, with the way things are going with you at the moment, I don't really think that you do need it, because you're quite content with the way things are, going at the moment. There are lots of things that you are aiming for. There are lots of things that you have not yet quite achieved. But in terms of your day-to-day, the way that you sit in your skin, Sagittarius, seems to have changed dramatically. There's a lyric by a band that I absolutely love, and it's an old track now. It's back from the, I don't know, late 90s or something, and it's My Ruin. And Tari B says, "While I hold you in contempt, I still hold you." That is what I am feeling here from this, right? This Virgoan energy could be in their top three, sun, moon, or ascendant, or it could just be somebody who's got that kind of vibe going on. Like, they hold you in contempt. There isn't a shadow of a doubt about that, right? But they still hold you. And whether you need to be aware of this because something might be occurring during this 2-week period that will kind of bring it into sharp relief for you, or whether you use it as a way of marking your own progress, I'm not entirely sure, but I am intrigued by this Wheel of Fortune appearing here at the end. Now, ruled by Jupiter, this is a card that is associated with Sagittarius very, very strongly. And it is a card that speaks about a change of fortune. Now, like, what's abundantly clear is that you have left this person behind. You've left this situation behind, and you have taken ownership of things, and you're moving towards goals that are far more in alignment with who you have always wanted to be, right? Who maybe at one point that you thought that you were, and then the last year or so has kind of disavowed you of that notion, because the capacity for you being stuck was just as present as it is in this other person here. But you have moved beyond it. You have transcended it. This other person has not. This other person is still very, very wounded, and wounded people lash out. Change of fortune. Got the Nine of Pentacles, and we've got the Emperor. We have the Sun at the bottom of the deck. It's a card of Leo, but we've got the Emperor card out twice now. Yes, we do. Both in the upright and in the reverse. And I think that this is really quite interesting, because what we seem to have in the way that the cards are sitting here is you, and then someone else, and then the Wheel of Fortune. Right? Now, this is also for me a teaching moment. I don't think the teaching moment is necessarily yours. I think it might belong to somebody else, but there is definitely something that you will be taking from this. Now, their perception of you is this. Right? Somebody who couldn't fucking organise their way out of a paper bag. When you've got, hardcore, low vibe energy of a Virgo, it would be very, very critical about your organisational skills and your timekeeping and things like that, whilst not necessarily abiding by those same things themselves, right? Remember that. But this sees you coming out on top really quite spectacularly here, Sagittarius. We've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Emperor in the upright with the Wheel of Fortune. Is the teaching moment here for the other person? Possibly. Is it a validation for you? Is it a confirmation for you that you are all of those things that you were told for such a very long time you were not? I think that's possibly true. Because the Emperor is the King of Kings, but being an Aries card, there's always that fiery King of Wands kind of aspect to it. And so in your standard depiction as a Knight of Wands and all the kind of pejorative stuff that generally comes along with that, right? The lack of commitment and very reckless behaviour, that sort of thing. This is showing me your growth. Not just to a King of Wands, developing from the Knight then to the King, but even transcending that, because you're pulling in all the other elements as an Emperor here. The Pentacles, the Cups, the Swords and the Wands. It's not just about what you do, it's about what you think, it's about how you express yourself. It's about the way that you have learned to access your emotions, which has been a big thing for you. And simply, quite likely, the way that you manage your own financial affairs too. I think some of you may not have been allowed to go anywhere near the money, But you're flying, Sagittarius. Independent, self-sufficient, in charge and in control. It is likely, I think, that you don't realise quite how well you're doing at the moment. And this whole situation will show you that. But what's more than that is that this other person has absolutely no idea how well you are doing, has absolutely no idea how much you have changed, how much you have grown and how much you have stepped into yourself. And it seems like they will be seeing that. Don't expect them to like it. Not at all, not with these cards here. And these ones. They don't like that at all. They don't like the fact that you've moved on. They don't like the fact that you have managed. There's an element here of them kind of a sideways low-key hope that you were just going to fall over by yourself and end up kind of crawling back in whatever respect, your relationship was conducted. Why is Sagittarius in this energy right now? Fuck. King of Wands, straight off the bat. Because you've grown, because you've matured. That's why it's Sagittarius here. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles. Ooh. Death. Holy shit. And what's this one down here? Seven of Wands in reverse. And the World. You are closing out a cycle fully this month. Now, in what sense, I'm not entirely sure. Perhaps it might be that you've got a divorce coming through this month, finalised, possibly. But the change in you couldn't be more fucked. Look, there you are, behind the World, Temperance. You have healed, you have grown, you have moved on, you have exceeded expectations, not just your own, but everybody else's as well. Your own is the most important thing, I think. But I think that this last 2-week period, you get a real insight into the level of your own development. And it's not just about the way that you're managing your financial affairs, Sag. It's about the way that you've switched on. You're taking care of yourself now in a way that you have not done for a very long time, and that's awesome. Because you were never really shown how to do it, it's always been about survival for you, Sagittarius. But it's not now. Remember that Empress card right at the beginning? Now we're into, not just avoiding shit things, but kind of barreling towards really good things, good, healthy things, not self-destructive, kind of bacchanalian, Dionysus kind of living, but good, healthy relationships, sustaining relationships, and also, a considerable sense of your own power. I love the way that this King of Wands is sat here with his hands over the campfire there. This, I don't know if you can see it, but the very top of the flame, what he's got between his hands, the flames are licking into a lemniscate. This is that sideways 8 that indicates infinity. You are so powerful at the moment, and you're wearing it very lightly. You're wearing it very humbly as well, actually. But in terms of showing you the level of your achievement, the level of your transformation, you don't need to fight with this person. That's the other thing. Like, you don't need to do it at all, because you have transcended the fuck out of this. Now, it might be that you don't get to witness firsthand this other person's kind of shock at the way that you've got your shit together. It might come via, you know, another party in a few weeks down the road, right? You know, you go say, oh, I was speaking to, you know, Virgo the other day, and you know, they told me you were doing X, Y, and Z, and they couldn't believe it. And I just go, yeah, you know, it's fine. You don't need to have defences against this person, because this person's got nothing. They've got nothing, literally nothing, that can wound you. Whoa, yeah. Eight of Wands, Eight of Cups. Two very karmic numbers there. And not in the sense of, you know, this other person being punished or you being elevated or, you know, whatever it is, but peace. Finding your peace, Sagittarius, and it's so much cooler than you thought it would be. You know, could have been like a while back if somebody had said, you know, are you going to live a peaceful life? You'd have been like, ugh, that's disgusting. Why would I want to do that? But you're here for it, Sag, and you love it. You enjoy it. When you are not being attacked all of the time, when you are not having that kind of somebody else's shitty attitude and shitty projections to fight with all of the time, it's given you space to grow. And you've seized it. You've seized this opportunity with both hands. And it seems to me like the epiphany that is delivered to you is that you really have no feelings at all about this now. So this other person can be flipping the biscuits and whatever, and you're just like, I don't care, it's all cool. And not, I don't care in that old Sag way that you used to, I don't care, which is like, actually I really do care and it really fucking hurts, but I'm not going to care about it, so fuck this. You know, it's actually like, I don't actually care. I don't have any feelings going off here. I'm busy building my own fucking empire over here, and I'm doing it very fucking well, thank you. Like, who are you? You know, it's that sort of energy. Still, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, Sag. It was a phone call I've been waiting for, and then it turned out it wasn't the phone call I was waiting for. So yeah, where were we? Who the fuck are you? You know, just like, okay, you flip your biscuits, you get all mad about things. Like, I just genuinely don't have any feelings about it. Let's get you some cards of advice. Some advice for Sag, please. Wow, this is beautiful. Oh my God. We have the Knight of Wands, we have the Two of Cups, and we have the King of Cups. What it's saying to me is, Sagittarius, just keep fucking doing what you're doing. Right? It's about focusing on the relationships that are important to you and not the ones that are not. You know, be you, be yourself, be proud of who you are and how you are showing up in the relationships that you are in right now. Whether they are romantic or friends or family, or co-workers, it doesn't really fucking matter. Like, you are you now. More so than you've ever been at any other point in your life, and the people that are around you adore you for it. There's no sense of anybody trying to change any aspect of you or keep you restricted or tied down in any sort of way. Like, your Sagittarian nature is exalted in the situations that you are in, and the people around you are a very, very good match for you. Very, very good. And so It's like keep riding that fucking wave there, Sag, King of Cups. Remember, where attention goes, energy flows, right? You took your attention away from this. It took a while, right? Yeah, it took a while, but you did it, right? And now you're filling your life full of these really awesome things, backwards and forwards, in the past. I was shit there when I did it before in the past. How can I do it better this time? You know, what would be a thing? And then you do things better here, and you're like, I'll just check in with my past to see, you know, why didn't I do it like that there, you know? Everything's just fucking gliding along beautifully at the moment, Sagittarius. It really is. It's putting you in a very, very good spot for what comes next. And something next is coming. I know that for a fact because I did your 6-month overview, right? But the Wheel of Fortune, although it feels like it's as much for the other person as it is for you, there's something else kind of percolating along behind that. Okay? And what it is not ready to come out yet, because I think we're maybe a couple of months down the road on what this is. But the foundation that you are building, and you have been building for the last few months, it's going to stand you in very good stead, as are the relationships that are around you at the moment. So just keep doing what you're doing, and don't allow yourself to get distracted by somebody else throwing the toys out of the pram, because that looks like it's probably going to happen at the end of September. And you know what, that's okay, that's fine. Let them do it. You know, where attention goes, energy flows. You don't need to put any energy into this old situation, and as much energy as they're putting into holding you in contempt and still holding you, it's getting nowhere, right? All it's doing is holding them back. So that's pretty good, Sag. I like that for you. Right, know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you very soon.